appropriate materials, teaching materials in teaching English language. We have to give the students chance to practice or train all four skills. Without practicing four skills, they can't learn. Without practicing listening, without practicing speaking, without practicing reading, and without practicing writing, they can't learn listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So we have to train students in all four skills. It is another consideration while teaching English language. Understanding individual difference and need of the students is another important matter, an important phenomenon while teaching English. The students' background, their status of knowledge, of language, we have to know them all. Without knowing them, without knowing students, the teacher can't teach well. So, understanding individual difference and their need and their background and setting the activities according to their need is another important matter to be considered while teaching English language. And providing sufficient exposure in communicative English and providing them the opportunities to practice language or to use English language is important matter. The opportunity to practice language should be provided inside the classroom and outside the classroom as well. Without such opportunity, the students can't learn English. So, providing sufficient exposure of language, English language, and providing them the sufficient opportunity to practice it is another important thing to be considered while teaching English. Now, let us discuss teaching of listening. Listening is the first and most important skill of language. It is a primary skill. It is a receptive skill. The student has to listen, understand, and respond. If student is able to listen, understand, and respond according to the oral text, then the listening completes. Otherwise, listening becomes incomplete. Much focus should be given in primary skills, that is, listening and speaking in primary level, because in natural order, listening and speaking comes first, then reading and writing come later. So, we have to give sufficient exposure and opportunity of practice of listening and speaking in primary classes. So, listening skill should be focused much in teaching English language. Listening means not only listening, but listening the text, oral text, and understanding it and responding appropriately. So, this should be considered while teaching of listening. Now, let us discuss the activities that can be carried out in the classroom while teaching listening. Generally, we can divide the activities in three stages, or three different types of activities can be carried out in teaching, while teaching listening. There are three stages: pre-listening stage. So for pre-listening stage, we have to do the pre-listening activities. And in the while listening stage, after pre-listening, the while listening activities are done, and at last consolidation activities, that is the post-listening activities, are carried out for the development of the listening skill in the students. Pre-listening activities are such activities which leads the student to listen the text, and it focuses or motivates. Generally, pre-listening activities motivates the students and directs the students towards the listening text and what they are going to listen exactly. For this, the pre-listening activities help them. So, in pre-listening activities, the teacher has to teach new vocabulary. In this, under pre-listening activities, the teacher has to teach new vocabularies. Through different techniques, we can teach vocabulary with the use of appropriate materials and appropriate techniques. The new words or new vocabularies are taught. We will discuss how to teach vocabulary later. Now, this is one activity in pre-listening stage. Then, talking about the related pictures, the teacher can give some pictures, can present some picture related to the text, oral text that the teacher is going to present orally before the students. For the listening activity, the teacher can give some pictures, and through pictures also the teachers can give some ideas or can motivate the students for listening. So it is pre-listening activities, and some riddles, discussing riddles also come under pre-listening activities. Riddles are known as the brain teasers as well. With the riddles, the students are prepared to listen, and they while using riddles for pre-listening activity, the teacher presents some ideas related to the real oral text. Before presenting oral text, some riddles can be, for example, new word brush is there. About bros, the teacher is going to present there in the real text. The teacher can give the chance to students to think about bros without saying bros. The teacher can give the opportunity to guess the students, and it is used to clean teeth as well, and sometimes a different type of it is used to clean the shoes. Like this, the riddle, the teacher can present the riddle. With this, they guess about bros. They can guess and can find out it as the bros. So here, the riddle can help to go to the real text, oral text. So it can be pre-listening activity. Then some language games can be a pre-listening activity, and giving some question. Generally, signpost question can also be given. That is a main question from the text, not whole text. Generally, some question, one or two questions can be given related to the text, and the students can guess the answer. So it's guessing of the answer of the questions, or guessing of the context. Maybe some activities of pre-listening activities, and asking questions related to the text and guessing both. The signpost question can be asked, that is a question, asking questions, not detailed, but for only direction towards the text. Some question can be given, and guessing is different. By giving the pictures, by giving the context, the students are saying something, a part of story are related to the text, and the students are asked to guess. Such activities can be carried out as pre-listening. In this pre-listening stage, also the students listen to the teachers, but not the real text. Generally, about the text, the students listen, but real text is not presented generally in pre-listening stage. Then, after pre-listening activities, the while listening activities are carried out. While listening activities. While listening activities are carried out while the teacher is presenting the oral text. The student listens to the students listen to the teacher and do the activity at the same time. This is while listening activity or while listening phase. During the while listening phase, the students listen to the teacher the real text, oral text. The teacher presents the text orally. Under this or during this phase, the activities like listen and discriminate, the teacher can present the different words, the words with some different sound, And the students can be asked to discriminate words with their different sound. So, for example, and the teacher can ask to differentiate or discriminate words, sentences, or things according to the text given, according to the text presented. So, listen and discriminate is one activity, appropriate activity that is used in while listening phase. And listen and imitate. Listen and imitate. In primary classes, in beginning or beginners, for beginners, it is better. To produce also it is better. As the students listen to the teacher, they imitate, they copy the sound. It is listening activity. So the teacher pronounces the word or sentence or even a phoneme maybe, and the students are asked to imitate. So listen and imitate activity can be carried out during while listening stage. And listen and identify. Another activity, listen and identify. For example, the teacher can present a text with nouns, adverbs, adjectives, and so on, and in a short text, that is in a short paragraph. And by listening, if the students are asked to identify the adjectives from the text, if such questions are asked, and by listening, the students find out from the text, orally presented text, they can identify the adjectives from the text. For example, listen and identify is another activity. And listen and act. We can carry out this activity during while listening phase or while listening stage. The teacher presents orally something and asks the student to act out. As the teacher says, the students have to act. Individually, the students can be asked to act out, or in group also. So, listen and act. If they appropriately listen and if they understand what the teacher is asking or what the teacher is presenting orally, they can act. Yeah, this is another activity. And listen and circle, listen and tick, like this, the activities. For example, this activity, the words, some words can be, for example, there are many ways for these activities, listen and circle, listen and tick. If for the beginners in grade 2, 1, 3 as well, for example, some words are given to the students and which the teacher pronounces, the student tick, and which the teacher doesn't pronounce, the students should not tick or should not circle. For example, this is only for example, and like this, if they correctly do the activity, they are listening well. So it is also another activity for while listening stage. And listen and match, like circle, tick, listen and match also activity can be done. And listen and order, sometimes listen and arrange, listen and order, listen and arrange, and sometimes fill in the blanks, listen and fill in the blanks according to the text. Such activities are can be carried out. And listen and follow instructions. Listen and follow instructions. For this, the teacher gives the instruction. For example, for direction, turn left, go about 15 meters ahead, turn right, like this. If the teacher gives the instruction and the students listens and does this, then the student is listening well. It proves, it shows. If the student can't do the, then can't do the or can't follow the instruction, then the student is not able to listen well. It proves. So this can be another activity. Listen and follow the instructions. Any types of instruction can be given. Any type of instruction. Listen and stand up, come here, go out. Simple instructions can also be used. So according to the student's level, the instructions should be given. And by giving questions, the students are asked to answer them by listening to the text presented orally. That is another activity. Listen and answer. So these are some of the major activities that are carried out during while listening stage. Then post listening. After while listening, another phase is post listening. This is also known as consolidation phase. For the consolidation of listening, this type of activity is necessary. Post listening activity. The activities carried out during while listening phase are checked, and the students are again they again listen. It means the teacher again presents the text orally, and they are given the chance to listen and confirm the answers. Listen and take, listen and circle, listen and match, and so many activities they do during while listening phase, and they can confirm their answers. So listen and confirm the answers may be the appropriate activity for this phase. Listen and confirm the answers. Listen and confirm the answers. By this activity, the students confirm their answers. If they have made any mistakes, they themselves try to find out, and consolidation takes place. And another activity can be homework. The teacher can ask them to do some activity as homework from the text they have listened. Maybe write a paragraph about that phenomenon, what the teacher presents. For example, if the teacher presents, for example, about school, and write a paragraph about that school, about any one school, for example, Shanti Vidyagiriya, for example. If about Shanti Vidyagiriya something is presented, then oral text is given and write a paragraph about it. If given, this is the homework. And in consolidation phase, these are main activities, major activities in post-listening phase. During post-listening phase, writing summaries also can be asked or can be done. Writing summaries. So there can be many activities. Mainly these activities are carried out during post-listening phase. Now some other major techniques, let us discuss. These are step or stage-wise activities. Generally, in teaching listening, major techniques we use are dictation. Major techniques. Of teaching listening. Dictation. The teacher presents something, a text orally, a paragraph, maybe paragraph, sentence, or some sentences, or single sentence, or some words, maybe. The teacher presents orally and the students listen and write. That is dictation. If they are able to write correctly what the teacher is saying, this is the example of listening, or this is the practice of listening. And find the difference. Major activities are discussed there in while listening stage as well. Listen and discriminate we have discussed. So find the difference. Listen and find the difference. The teacher, two different things can present. The teacher can present two different things and about something, and what major difference is. By listening, the students find out the difference. This is find the difference activity. The technique. This can be a technique for teaching listening. Generally, dictation is the common technique, and find the difference is also used for teaching listening. And listening games are used to teach listening well. One of the games is Simon Says. Through Simon Says, listening can be practiced well. Listening is skill. For example, the teacher gives the instructions. First of all, the teacher makes the student know about the instructions, how the teacher presents the instructions, and what they have to do. For example, stand up, pick up the bag, pick up your pen, close your eyes, raise your hand, and so on. These types of instructions the teacher can give, and the information about these such informations, the teacher inform the students and make them familiar about the game, how to play. And they have to, in this Simon Says game, they have to do if the instruction is followed by. If the instruction follows the Simon Says, or Simon Says is preceded by such instructions, the students have to do that. If not, they don't have to do. And if they commit mistake, if any student commits mistake, then he or she becomes out from the game. In this way, at last, the student who remains at last becomes the winner. For example, the teacher says, stand up, the students have to stand up. And the teacher says, Simon says stand up, the students stand up, it is correct. And the teacher says then, sit down. If any student sits down, then the student is out. That student is out. Because without Simon Says, the teacher has presented it. And pick up your pen, they don't have to pick up their pen because the teacher hasn't said Simon Says. And Simon says, close your eye, and they have to close their eyes. And so, the teacher gives instruction in this way, and the students have to follow correctly. They have to do correctly. And if they make mistakes, and they are out from the game. So, it is a better or very good listening game, Simon Says. So like this, many games can be played for the practicing listening. This is another major technique. And riddle, I have already mentioned. Riddle. The students have to guess, think, imagine to find out what the teacher is explaining. So, they have to be focused. They have to be concentrated towards the speech, towards the presentation of the teacher. What he is saying or she is saying, to find out the riddle, main answer of the riddle. So this can be a better way or a good technique for teaching listening. They have to listen carefully to find out what the teacher is talking about. And another very interesting and motivating, as well as developing listening skill well. That is song, a chant, a rhyme. The students enjoy much with songs, chants, rhymes. So, in beginning classes, primary classes, even they more enjoy. And they entertain much with songs, chants, rhymes. So the teacher has to provide them the sufficient opportunity to participate in singing, chanting, rhyming for better practice of listening. And another, by reading aloud or loud reading, the students can develop their pronunciation and speaking, and by reading. But by listening, loud reading, they develop listening skill. So the teacher has to provide the students with the enough opportunities to listen to the loud reading and to practice loud reading. That is, by reading aloud, the students themselves can correct their mistakes, errors, and their own reading they can listen, and others' reading can also be listened by them. So, loud reading also can be the technique of listening. So, these are some major techniques of listening, teaching listening. This much for listening today, and we'll discuss speaking, teaching speaking later.